This video, we're going to go over what is a story brand framework and how can you use the story brand framework to help your business grow. So we're going to be leveraging all the teachings in the book Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. And if you're frustrated because your business isn't seeing the sales you want to or just isn't getting the traction that you're hoping for, then this book could really help you rethink your strategies. Now you might be wondering, is this just another marketing book that promises success? And I absolutely do not think so. I think this is an extremely helpful book, and I think it's applicable to many aspects of your business. The core idea that Donald Miller is trying to teach is how to clarify your company's message. And according to him, he's helped over 500,000 business leaders achieve success using this storytelling framework that he goes over within the book. Key concept that Donald Miller shares is that to be seen, heard, and understood by your customers, you need to make sure your company's message is simple and predictable. So, how do you go about doing that? The answer is through effective storytelling. Storytelling helps our brains process information easily and quickly. And so, imagine storytelling as a big organizer within your brain that is perfectly labeled and everything has its place. So, using effective storytelling, you can get your message across and be seen, heard, and understood by your customers. There's two critical mistakes that a lot of businesses make. So, one is they don't focus on how their offer actually helps people thrive. And the second is they make their customers work really hard to understand what their offer is. And I see that a lot in a lot of websites. You have to click around, you have to go to multiple different pages to really understand what the business is offering and how it's going to help the customers. And so those are two critical mistakes to avoid when you're trying to clarify your message. So, how do you determine if you have a clear and customer focused message? So, for instance, if you have a website, in order to determine whether your website is clear and customer focused, you can put it through what's called a grunt test. A grunt test is basically when you imagine if a caveman or a cavewoman were to visit your website and he or she takes a 5-second glance at it. Could they answer these three questions? The first is, what do you offer? And the second question is, how will it make his or her life better and why should they care? And the third question is, what does he need to do in order to buy or to work with you? And if the caveman or cavewoman could answer all three questions, then your website has a clear and customer focused message. And of course, this might be hard to do if you are the one working on your website. So you can ask your friends or family to quickly glance at your website and see if they can answer those three questions. And if they can, that means your website has passed the grunt test. Second key concept in this book is about how to use storytelling to effectively communicate with your customers. So, Donald Miller is walking you through this storytelling formula or framework that he calls the story brand framework. This makes sure that your messages are clear and easy to understand for your customers. And he calls this framework the story brand framework. It's also known as the SP7 framework because it has 7 components to it. But basically, everything you see in movies and read in books, it follows this simple framework. There's 7 key components to that storytelling framework. The first is a character. The second has a problem. Third is meets a guide. Fourth is who gives them a plan. And fifth, calls them to action. And sixth, helps them avoid failure. And the seventh is and ends in success. So let's go into each of those components. All right. The first component of the story brand framework is the character, and your customer is the character. So keep in mind that your business is not the actual hero or the character. The customer is the hero, and the business is the guide. So for this part, you really need to do a deep dive into who your customer is and their demographics, their psychographics, and really understand what your customer is searching for. And the second component is the problem, right? So your customer has a problem. And so this part is really important because you're going to choose one villain And that villain is the one causing your customers to have problems and frustrations, and the villain is the hook of the story. And so it's really crucial to find a good villain. And this is what keeps the people interested. And the villain doesn't have to be a person. It can be a challenge or an issue with specific qualities. For example, if you're selling time management software, you might make distractions your villain. Your product becomes a way to fight these distractions and stay focused.
All right. So what makes a great villain? There's four traits that make a great villain. The first is it has to be the root source, meaning it has to be the actual source of your customer's problems. The second trait is that it needs to be relatable. It needs to be something that people are aware of, understand, and can relate to. The third is it needs to be singular. If you choose a bunch of villains, then it confuses the story, it confuses the customer, and your message gets lost. The fourth is that you want to stick to real issues and not scare tactics. So, to help you find the best villain and to really hone in on the customer's problems, Donna Miller breaks the problem up into three different aspects. First is the external problem, second is the internal problem, and third is the philosophical problem. And so the external problem is the problems that you can see and fix. For instance, a restaurant solves hunger by feeding the customers. A plumber fixes leaky pipes. Now, the internal problems are more emotion-based problems that you can't see. So, for instance, someone that paints houses, it's not just painting a house and transforming a house, but they're helping their customer feel proud of their homes and feel less embarrassed. And so, again, these are more feeling and emotion-based problems. The third aspect of the problem is the philosophical problem. Now, this is about asking yourself, what's the bigger story and why does it matter? For example, REI isn't just a company that sells outdoor equipment. It's about how you deserve to feel connected to nature and feel safe in nature. And so those are the three big components to diving deeper into your customers' problems. And one of the key insights that Donald Miller provided was that a lot of companies sell solutions to external problems, but customers actually buy solutions to internal problems. So you really want to make sure that when you're doing this exercise that you are really, really diving deep into the feelings and emotion base and the internal problems that your customer is facing. The third part of the story brand framework is meets a guide. And so this is where you want to talk about yourself in a way that shows empathy and authority to prove to your customer that you are the right guide. So again, the two most important pieces of this is showing empathy. So you want to have statements that empathizes with the customer on how they must be feeling facing their problems and the type of issues that it causes for them. And that shows empathy and that you can understand and relate to the customer. And then you want to position yourself as authority and the right guide for them. And this can come in the form of testimonials from other customers. It can come in the form of awards, logos, and name recognition in magazines and articles and things like that. So you prove to them that you are reliable, trustworthy, and you are the right choice for their guide. And again, you're the guide, not the hero in the story. All right, part 4 of the framework is who gives them a plan. And so again, the customers trust a guide who has a clear plan, and you usually want to keep this as simple and easy to follow. So usually a 3-step process detailing how they can work with you, how to buy your product, or how to use your services to defeat the villain. And so, for instance, if you are a copywriter, your first step might be to book a step 1. Step 2 might be to develop a clear, concise message. And step 3 might be to let the words do the work for you or something like that. And so, again, I think the actual Donald Miller brand strategy website is a great example of this process. So go ahead and check that out to help you get more ideas on how you can break your process into 3 steps. The fifth part of the story brand framework is calls them to action. And so this is really important because a lot of the times customers won't take action unless you tell them a clear, concise call to action. And you want to make sure the call to action is the same across your website, and you want to make sure it's concise and it's short and it's easy to understand and easy to follow. So, for instance, a good one would be to book a free call or download this freebie. And so you just want to make sure there's a clear next step for the customer. And that is crucial for conversions. The sixth part of the story brand framework is that helps them avoid failures. So, in this part, you just want to highlight the negative consequences or failures that your customers can avoid by using your solution. And so, a good example of this is when you're buying a used car. um, One of the things that you're afraid of is buying a crappy car or a lemon car, as they say. And so CarMax does a really good job of saying, hey, we certify and make sure that the cars are in excellent condition. So you don't have to worry about that. And so in this example, CarMax is helping you avoid the negative consequences of buying a used car and it turning out to be a crappy or not such a great car. The last part of the story brand framework is, and it ends in success. And so, on the flip side of helping them avoid failure, you're going to highlight what their life would look like after working with you. And so, you want to paint a really vivid picture of what their aspirational identity and what they could be, who they could be after working with you. So, for instance, a speech coach might show images or videos of a really confident public speaker giving a great speech with poise, clarity, and confidence. And so you really want to identify who the customer wants to be and what they want their life to look like. And you just want to make it use vivid imagery to really, really show them what success after working with you will look like. All right. So, in summary, Donald Miller's story brand framework can be really powerful. And I really think if you go through each of the steps in the framework, that you'll be able to clarify your message. You'll be able to hone in on the problems that your customer is facing and be able to position yourself as the right solution for your customers. And in doing that, you'll be able to increase conversions and help your business grow. So it's well worth the exercise. And if you need help doing all of this and doing the deep dive analysis, well, you can always reach out to me at kmeedesigns.com and I can help you in your process to grow your business. I hope this helps. And if you want more videos like this, please comment below. If you want me to do a deeper dive on examples for each of these processes, I'd be happy to. All right. I hope this helps. And don't forget to subscribe.